Hey folks, Phil here, formerly of Desperado 2. Now, I guess, with my oh my, or Flip This Boat, as I'm trying to call this series. This is a very large piece of Strataglass, and this is, of course, a smiley face, working with a product called Search Ferrari Stamoid. So, I just giving you my way of doing it. I know there's other ways on the internet, and I've tried some of them. And let me tell you, I got a lot of great advice from some of the Sailrite videos. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work for me working with 40 gauge Strataglass because I want the heaviest, kind of the best stuff you can. Well, I mean, there is heavier, but it doesn't roll up very well. And uh, and this stamoid material, which is a marine vinyl. So the way I do it, I know it's kind of the weird, is I've got the zipper on. So the zipper follows my original line that I drew. And use the paper that comes with the Strataglass. You can see how I drew the line, got it as right as I could, and then I laid the glass on top and was able to trace that line onto the Strataglass just to stop more moving on the Strataglass, stop any scratches. So then I put the zipper down, and I still have to trim some of these threads up, don't worry. But what I do is there's a little technique shown on one of the Sailrite videos where you tighten your stitching by holding the thread to kind of pucker the corners to get around these corners, and you can see the puckering here. So you can see there are two lines of stitching here. One was the basically the puckering line. So what I do is I take my piece of trim, I mark it where I need the curves, so I'd mark the start and the finish, and then I use the puckering technique of holding that thread. Not sure who came up with it. In the industry, we used to just tighten up our thread tensioner, but then it kind of, you got to get your machine set back again right afterwards. So the hardest part is to get this stuff to lay flat because it always wants to stand up like this, and then it just looks like heck on the boat. What I do, all right, is I put this on, and the outside one is actually the easier one to get done. Once I've got the outside stitching on, I use a lot of masking tape. See my big balls of masking tape? And I tape it down to hold it. I mean, even though the seam sticks there, it doesn't hold when you're going around the corners. So I put pieces of masking tape every few inches kind of across like this, and then on the edge that I'm not sewing. So in this case, it would, and then as I'm sewing it, I pull the masking tape off. A little bit of a pain in the butt, but you get a much better job. So when I did this piece, I had masking tape. I was sewing the inside edge here. So I had masking tape all along this outside edge, holding this down flat. And then I had pieces around the curve kind of going across here that were easy to pull off as I sewed. And it came out pretty good. Gotta be honest, this is my 6th or 7th smiley face, and this one's coming out the best. Now, I still have to trim the strata, like I have to make the cut. And as you look in here in this groove, that's where I marked that cut that I transferred from, the piece on the paper there. So now I'm going to be cutting along here. And if there's see how it's right in the center of the zipper there? All right, that's the edge I'm following. The reason I don't cut it before is because, like in this case right here, the zipper's kind of just moved a little bit. So, if I cut it, then you're sort of fixed. So this way I can cut directly over the edge of that. When I'm done that, this piece, which is a 3/4 inch stamoid, is going to sew on this outside edge here like that underneath. I don't know if you can see that. And then this piece will go and stitch on the other side of the Strataglass. I know that seems a little strange, but maybe I'll make a little video to show you that too. Some people ask, why does marine canvas cost so much? Well, I'll be honest. One sheet of Strataglass, now I'm working on 2 pieces. I'll show you the pieces right here. Boom, boom, boom. There they are. All right, I'm only able to get 2 panels out of a sheet. Sheet of Strataglass 40, which is what I'm using here, is about $400 plus some taxes and delivery and stuff. I had a little bit better price, but not much. I think you get like $30 off or something like that. And that's Canadian dollars, by the way, so you can probably find it cheaper in the United States. So right away, I'm at $200 in glass if I don't mess up, so I have to be very careful. And I do tend to measure everything 5, 6, 7 times. So I work slower. Well, I still have to account for that time. The stamoid material is $60 a yard. These two pieces, as you can see, all these pieces are ready to go on. Again, you can see my masking tape trick. Some of them I've already stitched, like these larger bottom pieces. I've already got sewn up, ready to go on as they go around the edges. I'm actually reusing the what they call the ketter. This is the piping that slits into the top of the rail. I couldn't find the right diameter anywhere, so I just kind of soaked this stuff in some bleachy water for a few hours. Scrubbed it. It came out okay. Nobody's ever going to see this. This gets sewn inside between two panels, and then this the piping actually fits into a track. So nobody's going to see that. So save myself $190 there, only because you have to buy a whole roll of this stuff. I know there are places that sell it by the foot, by the meter. But anyway, so why is it so expensive? So let's see. These two pieces, I got $400 in Strataglass. I have, so we have 400 in Strataglass. And let's have a look. We have 400 in Strataglass. We have $180 in the stamoid material. We have all the fasteners. Now the fasteners are the lift the dot fasteners from Dot, and we have some snaps. About 20 bucks. No, what's maybe about $24 for that. The zipper, this coil zipper, this number 10 zipper that's on the other side of this, that was about another $20. If I don't include thread and basting table, these are materials that, you have to purchase and you have to use. I probably have maybe another $10 in there because you kind of use it around. This tape, I have to buy it by the roll and they sell it by the yard. So I probably got another $20 in that tape. So what are we looking at? 200, 600, 640, 654, if I'm looking at this roughly. Then there was plus tax and shipping. Okay. And then I have my time. And time, I'm telling you, these things, if I want to get them done right and I don't want to mess up a piece of material, I measure everything 4, 5, 6 times. I take my time to tape everything down. I'm an amateur, so they're taking me about 10 hours a piece. So I've got about 20 hours in labor into that. Now, when I normally work on boats for friends, I'm a $50 an hour guy. So that's another $1,000 in there. That's what I normally charge when I'm doing work for friends. I do charge more for other people. But so you can see right there, just my time and the cost of these materials, I'm at $1,700 for 2 panels. This boat has 15 panels on it. So anyway, that's why canvas might be so expensive if you can actually find somebody to tackle this project. There's also the drive time to go fit it on the boat. The last few panels I had to get to Florida, fit them, adjust them. There's a lot of extra time involved. So a job like this, like I said, 15 panels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 sheets of Strataglass. So you're looking at $3,000 or more just in the glass alone. I can see why people, are charging $15,000 for a job like this. And people want, you're going to complain if it's not right. And then they're going to be redoing stuff for you. So give the canvas people a break. I've got a whole new respect for them after doing this project. I'm on my last 2 panels now. And I hope you all have a great day. Once again, this is Phil from Flip This Boat. And, I don't know whether I'm going to sell this boat or not. We love the interior. We just miss sailing. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.